Yes, I'm gonna give y'all a small introduction. Or do you want to give me an introduction, Drake?
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
While he waits to turn on the camera, I'm gonna give y'all a small introduction about Derrick. Derrick Williamson. If you haven't heard the story, Derrick is the one that had the he has the farm, not had. He has the farm down there in Covington, Georgia. Okay, give you a little background on him. He has an extensive background in ministry. He has an extensive background in community work, which which is has led him to work with the community. But that's how he was introduced to the Hardees. Okay, and the Hardees, they were a family that was deeply involved in volunteer work, giving generous contributions to different causes and stuff. And then over the time, their shared dedication between Derrick and the Hardees and stuff of making a difference in the lives of other people in the same type of dynamic, right? So Derrick, he ended up opening up his house to Janet and their daughter Jordan and their other daughter Claire, and it was during a crisis dealing with Jordan's pregnancy. Okay, so he opened up his home to them. He wants to help them out. So then there was a in a turn with that. That's when Janet Hardee, she had expressed a desire to gift this farm, this whole property down there in Morgan County, Georgia. Okay, gift this whole thing to Derrick's ministry. Even though Derrick was skeptical, he was skeptical because it's a very expensive piece of property, right? So Derrick, he eventually agreed to accept this whole generous gift. The deed was intended to be in the ministry's name, which was it was a decision that was made to ensure clarity and permanence, right? And it was affirming the property as a unadulterated gift per Janet's intentions, right? So the relationship between Derrick and the Hardees took a very negative turn, and everybody's seen that as it grew and it became more prevalent on the internet, on social media. It took a negative turn, right? When the value of this property it increased tremendously. Okay, I mean, very valuable. And when you see the house, you see the farm and everything, you'll be like, somebody donated that. So the Hardees, even though Derrick said, for reasons entirely not clear, we know the reasons. It was greed, right? So they attempted to try to sell his property against his wishes. And this right here was the beginning of many legal battles, the beginning of many false reports, the beginning of series of actions aimed at trying to dismantle Derrick's ownership and dismantle his control and dismantle his ministry. All right. So Derrick had seek to try to get legal recourse. He tried to get restraining orders, but in that small town down there, he was met with a lot of legal hurdles. There was a lot of corruption down there with the two different judges, a lot of corruption with the police officers down there, and it was a lot of corruption, doing a little bit further digging, other people who tried to stay in the background of the whole thing. There was a lot of evil stuff that was taking place. They made false reports on him, right? It had many investigations, a lot of legal complexities. They stole his animals. He's going to discuss all of this with you guys. They stole his animals. They stole, a lot of assets that belonged to Derrick, because everything that Derrick did came out of pocket. Everything that he did, he put into it himself. Okay. So, no further ado. This is Derrick Williamson. I talked to him yesterday, and the brother has a great heart. I love it. He has a great heart, and I want you guys to hear from him what he went through and what he's enduring right now, because a lot of people have asked, how can we help? So as a village, he's going to let you know how we can all help him out and what he's facing right now today. Okay, even from the point where he found out about the Hardees. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and make his box bigger because I want y'all to see his face. Derrick.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just want to say thank you so much for just being on. Thank you so much for T Drake and Prophet Ruben for having me on today. Just want to say thank you, everybody that's on the live today. You guys know that I don't show my face on in the media and social media a whole lot these days. In the past, simply because the weight of the situation was the gravity of it was too much for me. It took a lot out of me. And as Prophet Ruben said, it has a lot of different levels to this right here. But so I'm just gonna get into it a little bit, but just want to start out by saying thank y'all so much. It is an honor to be here. It's been a long road, and sometimes it's not over to God says it's done. And it's been a lot of a lot of tough nights and a lot of tough years though. But I believe that the tide is changing now, and I need all the support that I can get to really begin to hopefully put my life back together, put the ministry back together. And as you guys know that, yes, we know that in Covington, Georgia, there was a private plane that went down outside of the Covington airport within, I believe it was within a 3 mile radius. That plane that went down happened to be, we know the Hardee, the James Hardee and Janet Hardee, and those are the ones that you see in my videos, and those are the ones that have been in legal battles and were maliciously trying to take the sanctuary and try to take the farm and take and take the ministry. One thing I will say that there's been a lot of that across when it comes to social media, things like that, there's a lot of opinions on a lot of things, but for me personally, um, in my perspective of faith, I still look at that as a tragedy, and it is something that is, and that it is tragic in every sense of the way. But I do say this as well. Sometime after a forest burns, then after that, some of the most beautiful vegetation and some of the most beautiful trees and things can come out of the ground after destruction. So right now, that's where we are. But to those who ask, do you have your farm back? It's been years. Did you ever get your farm back? The answer to that question is no. I did not get my farm back. The Hardees were in my farm, were living on my farm. Even when their plane went down, they were still occupying my farm and living on my farm at that time. In October of in this past October, I went home and it was like SWAT team officers came out with tactical vests on, things like that, and they took me out of my bed, took me out of my room. And then they told me that, if I did not get out of the house and leave, then I would be arrested. And they pulled cuffs out to arrest me at that moment because I said, I'm not leaving. This is my home. This is my home. It's my residence. My license has this on it. All my vehicles are registered here. The company is registered here. My deed is here. The bills, all of the bills on this property are in my company's name and my name. And I am the 100% shareholder. These people cannot produce not one document, not one true nothing whatsoever. And so bottom line, those tactical officers, they proceeded to arrest me and at that point, and I could not. This is round about the same time of the year. October was the same month that that we went through when the videos were posted. My brother passed away around about that same time. It was, if I'm correct, it was that same week. So I could not be locked up in a cell, and during that time, it was just mentally that it was too much sorrow that I went through the first time. Because they came and I had to go to the hospital. The officers came and they threw me to the ground, face planted me to the ground on my concrete porch outside. So they actually they came out. One of the officers came out of the house, and I thought, I thought he had a weapon pointed at me, but turns out it was a taser. And so I had to go to the hospital. I sustained injuries from all of that. And after I was treated at the hospital, I was taking my ambulance from my farm in ambulance to the hospital as they treated the injuries. Then I was taken and thrown into a cell in a Morgan County jail where I would spend that time until my lawyer was able to get me out. Um, so the story has so many layers to it, and as you guys know, and some of you guys like, what do you do? Like, I mean, yeah, we know it's farm, and yeah, we know it's we get kind of what's going on here, but so that you guys can have a deeper understanding. So the name of my ministry or company is called The Way Dynamic Animal Therapy Encounters, and we believe that the way that their source is the way, all right, and we believe that animals have a unique ability to help people. We believe that animals have an ability to reach people and pharmaceutical drugs can't sometimes. We believe that animals help a child with autism to escape the box when medicine can't. We believe that veteran, that PTSD veteran that has been through traumatic war times, he cannot sleep at night. We believe that we can get dopamine released into his brain and we can make him smile through some of the animals that we interact with and creating a safe interaction. So there's complexities to what we do. So on the business side of things, in the business side, that's animals saving the lives of humans through animal therapy. But then we switch the concept for the nonprofit side of things. So the Paramount Wildlife Incorporated does the opposite of that. So then humans turn around and save the lives of animals through wildlife rescue when animals are injured and orphaned and need help. Or when these two baby fawns, these deer are standing on the side of the road because they just watched their mom get hit by a car. Those babies need bottles. Those babies have to learn how to forage. Those babies have to learn how to live in the wild. And we, in our perspective rehabilitation, have to teach them how to do that because mom's not here anymore. It's a ministry. So when it comes to what we do, I've been obstructed for years now. So the business is animals ministering, saving the lives of humans. And the nonprofit is humans turning around and ministering, saving the lives of animals. So over the years since I've been obstructed, we believe that the preservation of life is important. What we do, I am not, I'm to let people know very clearly the reason why this story has so much gravity to it is very clear. I'm not a car dealership. We are not a restaurant. When we are not able to operate, things don't make it. It's as simple as that. A lot of facilities in Georgia are maxed out. So if you live in Georgia, you may have found that possum or found that baby deer and things like that. And you called every agency out there, but guess what? Nobody could take it. Or you had a hard time. You had to drive 3 hours to get it there. We were the closest ones opening. I have a 40 acre, our farm is 40 acres. And, if you guys have seen my TikTok and Facebook and different social medias, I went very far and our team went very far to create some of the most dynamic animal enclosures and things, on our facility. Like it's really neat. We were before all this happened, we were in the process of constructing an animal hospital on site. So, um, before these things happen. So I want to touch on somebody, there's a lot of people have a lot of questions about the business part, how this transfer and this and this. And I want to make this very clear. Understand me clearly, okay? There's not a lot of people that wake up and say, listen, my job and my identity, my mission is found in making sure that a deer gets what it needs to survive or making sure to connect humans and animals together. We sit people that have this altruistic attitude and ability is not found in everybody, right? So it puts us in a unique category. Those that minister from the perspective of wildlife and animals, it's a rarity. So I want to say that in lieu of what I'm about to say. So therefore, a lot of people, if you go study how a lot of wildlife rescues, even some zoological facilities and rehabilitation clinics and things like that, they are founded and they are funded by private people or corporations, giving them the ability to do their ministry because we don't do this for money. We don't do this because we want to get rich. And if you want to talk business and numbers and things like that, the one thing you'll learn about what we do in our perspective, we have the most expensive business you can have. The land costs an astronomical amount of money to minister well. The animal enclosures and fencing costs a lot to do that. The animal handling and the training you need to minister to the animals, all the complex licensing and permits, and you are regulated from every level, from all the way down to the county up to the United States Department of Agriculture. The knowledge you have to have, and in my case, we have exotic animals, animals that originate from as far as South America and Central America. Hoffman two-toed sloths. You guys will see in my videos. Sid and Sue. You will see Ezra. The albino wallaby, right? And you'll see my Patagonian cavimaras, kinkajous. These animals. When I began to bring animals and import these animals into Georgia, I had import permits from the Department of Natural Resources. I was sure to bring animals into this animal family that had an ability to minister. We are a farm. One thing about every animal on our farm, it was set to minister. It was going to minister in some capacity. We were a working ministry, a working farm, sanctuary, whatever you want to put. And everybody ministered in their own perspective. Okay. So when this happened, all right, it took a lot to get up to where we are today, and, so a lot of Janet Hardee contributed a very big part of that. Together we bought that farm. But just because I was approached with this substantial contribution, she said God gave her pointed instruction to do this, right? And when someone tells me God gave them pointed instruction to do something, I'm kind of funny. People, if somebody says something, that we know, obviously, if they're trying to, oh, I can lie and get it, and God says, okay, no, that's a little different. But when somebody says God gave them pointed instruction to do something in their ability, then, I'm very careful how I challenge them. But I made it very clear to Janet and very clear. I said, listen, If God called you to do this, it's great, but you got to know that. I told her to go. I told her to take time to make sure you hear, understand that you heard properly. Okay. Because this is a big, this could seemingly be a big deal as we kind of see later on down the road. And I told her, I said, in order to build safety nets, a lot of people would say, oh, this young man was naive. Oh, this young man, just do all these things. Before I get back into the financial part of it, I want to take a little second to say this. The ministry that we have with the animals, we minister to all people. I don't care if that PTSD veteran looks like this or this. I want him to find peace. That child with autism that can't escape the box, I don't care if he looks like this or this. We're set to minister. I don't under everybody is governed. You govern your practice and your ministries and businesses how you want to. But what the perspective and narrative that I was given, right? We minister to all people. When the Hardee family came into my life, all right, didn't we didn't just go. I wasn't just at a grocery store and saw them and say, hey, and then she's like, oh, here, I got all this money. Oh yeah, listen, I have a dream of a sanctuary. People think it work like that, but it's not. Um, didn't go like that. We had a proven relationship over time. They were able to learn my character, the DNA of how I believe. They were able to see the results of how I perform. I'm the former vice president of a zoological facility of a lot of animals, whether it was wolves, alligators, camels. I have a very extensive background in wildlife, right? And they were able to watch this ministry. They were also volunteers. I used to be the director of one of the most prominent food banks in the region, serving thousands of families a month. And we grew a very, very familial unit. We were friends, and we were friends. We became closer, and that relationship built, but it built through labor. We built through understanding, and they understand my perspective of life. I move a little bit differently. My heart doesn't work the same as a lot of people's, and I get that. Hey, to each his own. But they saw it, and Janet saw that. So when this was presented to me, and this when the situation was brought to me, I believe everybody has a season. Everybody has a purpose, and in that purpose, Janet had a purpose to with the birth of this ministry. She had, Source had a plan for this ministry to be here, and together we were able to come together and open the way dynamic animal therapy encounters for the world and for people to be ministered to. So I want to say all that to say, so when it comes to the contribution, because everybody's hung up on the contribution, I may look like this right here, but if you go look at those paperwork of a lot of those other wildlife rescues and organizations, listen, we all got it the same way. People believed in what we did because a lot of this is not a way. This is not something that's average a lot of times. Okay, and we had the resource, we had the ability and the intellectual property to build something. And to those of you that had questions about things as well, if you go look at my page, you'll see the relationship. You begin to see how we strategically built facilities. For example, the sloth enclosure. If you look at that, the sloth off three. It's a two-tier system. They have a waterfall through the floor for humidity because they're from a special humidity and temperature and things like that. Um, so we made sure, and granted, I was very young in this initiative, but I had a heart and I studied and I learned what to do. And then now we're going to get into the, little, now I'm a pivot a little bit now. Okay. We understand that we get it. The ministry, we protect, we're the preservation of life. Someone believed in this vision, this ministry, which is not different from the other people, except for I look a little bit different and my age is a little bit lower. Fair enough. It can throw you off. But then we get into the product of what happened. We close successful business. I want to make sure to make this clear to you all too. They say, well, how did it happen? Well, there has to be something he's leaving out and things. One of the only stipulation that I had in this endeavor, right? We had a 2-year plan, which was going to take a lot longer. 2 years was a lot longer than the instantaneous you know, what Janet told me instantaneously, what she was prompted to do. Okay, we had a 2-year plan. So when Janet brought this to me, I said, "Hey, listen, all right. Once you deliberate on it, you go and you discern it. Make sure you heard clearly." She came back to me and said, "Listen, I heard this. I know this to be so." I said, "Okay." I said, "So we got to make sure that it's that way. So we got to make sure that we establish something now. That property, that sanctuary, that wildlife rescue facility, that ministering facility would not be in neither one of our names. It will be in the ministry's name. So if something ever happens to me or to you or whatever the case is, it ain't going to be a dispute. The ministry owns it. Those veterans that we're going to help, those kids we're going to help, those people that don't know wildlife and animals and conservation initiative, those are the people. The animals own this sanctuary. Me, I'm just a servant. You know, God chose, I don't know, out of all the people in the world, God chose me to sit on in front of millions of people and tell my story across the world and to do this perspective. It was my destiny. It's who I am. So in the fibers of my DNA, this type of ministry and work, I told her it belonged to the ministry. And I told the lender, and at first there was an issue because the lender came back because we had to fight, we had to finance 400,000. I took out the loan, half of that loan. She took out the other half of that loan. And the lender said, you cannot close this property in the name of the corporation at the time because I was only like a year and a half old as a corporation. The lender didn't want to do it. I told the lender and I told everybody involved, listen, if this property cannot be put in the ministry's name, then there will be no deal. Simple as that. It's very clear. The lender came back and everybody, there was a big team, the loan officers, everybody got together and they said, listen, we will do this right here. We will allow you and her, okay, close on the property because you guys are taking a loan. This is you guys are taking the loan out. Y'all are taking a loan. So fine. Close on the property. We will allow immediately at that same closing table. You can soon as the official deed is produced of you and her and your ownership, right? And we close in that moment, you can sign it over instantaneously, both interests, meaning on your own volition. You can sign over in front of an attorney and a notary and at a law firm. You can sign it over to the company and give it its final destination if that's what you guys want to do. So we closed. We went. I said, "Hey, we can do that. I'm for that. It belongs long for you do a progression immediately. There won't be a 30-day delay in this. There won't be anything in that. It's not about me owning it. It's not about you owning it. It belongs to the ministry. Let me make that clear. The lawyers agreed. The lawyers came in. We had a massive stack of papers we went through. We signed everything. We became owners in that moment. We applauded it and it was wonderful. Then the lawyer turned around within a minute and something, flip those papers around, slid them straight to us for the second part. At that part, I would sign over 50% of my interest of all the land and of that property. And then she would also sign over her 50% to the ministry, which are the true owners of that land to this day. So those of you that want to know how that all worked out and all that, I could care less about the dollar amount that was put there. It was about the principle of this day. If I would have done things differently, I wouldn't be sitting before any of you today. I wouldn't have been in the situation. I wouldn't be able to protect my animal family with what's left of us now. I moved strategically to protect us. That corporation is at the ministry, the farm. The deed of the farm is in the company's name. It's an S corporation. S corporation is a tight, it's a tight corp, right? So we know it's very difficult to dismantle and to move around an S corporation if you do not have shares. So what did I do as a safety net? 100,000 shares is what the way dynamic animal therapy encounters is comprised of or consists of. I own all 100,000 shares because guess what? Who did God call to do this? These hands. And it needed to remain accordingly that way for this exact purpose. And in the perspective of love that I had, I trusted Janet. I appreciated what she did. I'm very thankful for her, even Jordan and Claire and Jay in the perspective that things were working. I appreciated them. It was good. But the one thing I knew is I had to make sure to protect this ministry at the end of the day. So those of you that said, "Oh, he's naive, he messed up," and all this stuff like that, no, no, no. There were safety nets in place so that that trust could be put forward. I want to make that clear to everybody. So now we're going to get into some other things. Now we're going to be like, oh, the land was taken from you. The land, how could you be kicked off your land? You're the CEO and founder of the company. You're the 100% shareholder. You're the deed holder of the property. You're a resident on the property. You built all this stuff on the property, your team. You have all these animals out here. So how could you be removed? Right? So get this, everybody. So you're gonna have to follow me because this is real, this is raw, and this is what happens across the United States though. And I'm thankful for for platforms like this and Justice Denied, because what it does is it begins to highlight this corruption and peels back the layers, but do something about it, right? So what happened? In small courts, in small towns and jurisdictions, right? We know that it's comprised of judges, right? We it's comprised of officers, right? and it's comprised of residents. You know, those are pretty much some of the elements that's there, right? And in my case, when you have four judges, a chief magistrate court, a magistrate court judge that worked for the chief magistrate court judge, I exposed her corruption. I caught her. I caught it. And it was there. You guys saw it in the videos. The chief magistrate court judge, her friend, Judge Burleson, a superior court judge, Stephen Bradley. Okay. Four judges. The Okmulgee Circuit is the oldest judicial circuit in the state of Georgia. Okay. These guys are very, very powerful circuit. They've been unopposed for a long time. So that's how they move in this energy like this, because they have not been checked by the people yet, or a situation that's willing to fight up against them. So you got four judges. Now we're going to add in some more people. We're going to add in Morgan County Sheriff's Department. Okay. All these officers involved now. Now we got four judges, and now we got a whole entire sheriff's department. Now we're going to add in some more people. The corrupt zoo, Nicole Canoy. You know, she's the CEO and founder of Animals on Set and Wildlife Critters Circle of Life. I'm the former vice president for that zoological facility. The Hardee family do not know animals. So my water buffaloes, next to when we get into them stealing all the animals and stuff, they didn't know how to do none of that stuff. They had to hire expert. So a former business partner that I left because she was practicing corruption on the facility, my own facility, she came into the play. Another millionaire as their expert to steal and steal my zoological fencing and things. So now we got four judges, an entire sheriff department. We got another millionaire zoo owner in conspiracy. And then guess what? Now we got mega millionaires involved too. Janet Hardee and James Hardee. Okay. Now we got them and the Hardee family. Okay. So now you see all these people begin to point their fingers at me because I look a certain way, that I don't deserve this. I shouldn't have it. And they all work together in their network to take me off my land illegally, unjustly, and by might. Okay. So that's what happened. The judge signed arrest warrants. The police executed Janet and her husband and family, harassed me, destroyed my vehicles, hurt the animals, did all these things. The judge protected their crimes, right, and stopped them from being charged and things like that. The police department will be the physical ones to arrest me and take me into custody, and everybody worked together to do this thing right here. But I want y'all to remember something, right? I'm one man. My team, and this is raw. I'm gonna get a little raw for y'all for a second, okay? My team, right? I made everybody on this team, right, take an oath. They had to put their right hand up. They had to it's a written oath. I have videos of this. Everybody. They had to take oath. They'll protect this ministry and this sanctuary, these animals, against attacks from the outside and the inside. They'll feed and care and do whatever we need to do to make sure that this works and to protect it. My team thought it was radical that I made an administrator swear them in the office, swear them into this role, but it was that serious to me, right? And it was very real. Every one of them, for the most part, violated that oath that they took to this ministry, to this organization, and for lack of better terms, committed direct treason against the ministry that God gave us to do, because they want to liquidate for assets or whatever the case is, right? And as a CEO and founder, I had to make a tough decision when it was brought to me that we would be liquidated, selling the property, all this. When they brought this to my attention, at that moment, I said, you know what? If I say no, I knew what it can entail. And my initial thought was like, hey, listen, it is what it is. We'll go ahead. I need to go ahead and move forward with it. But the war, my spirit, now the warrior in me, my spirit, and the ministry that we have, and the vision God gave me to be the shepherd of, to make that decision, it didn't belong to anybody else. And I had to remember that. And at that moment, I began to readjust. And I tried to negotiate. I said, hey, listen, I said, there's an attorney that we all trust. And I told you, there's an attorney that we trust. Let's go talk to him. I tried before anything went crazy, before anything went out of the way. I said, listen, there gotta be a strategy to this. Let's go talk. Let's go talk to this attorney. Janet didn't do that. All right. It'll be 2 days later that I'll be standing in my yard, feeding the animals, and I see all these police squad cars coming down my driveway at a more, not like cruising. They were hauling down my driveway. And I knew I'm a black guy. out here on my farm right here. I don't know these officers. I don't know them. They don't know me. But I discerned that there was already a call made because by the speed of those vehicles. I put down my buckets, feed buckets, whatever I had, put my hands straight up. These officers all start getting out of vehicles, walking towards me. I said, gentlemen, I said, hello, good. It was, I believe it was morning. I said, good morning. You know, my name is Derrick Williamson. I'm the owner of this property and the CEO of the company that the deed is in, that the deed's name, that the name of the deed is in the company's name. I said, how can I help y'all today? These officers looked at me and they said, we received a call that there was a black man trespassing on property. I kind of laughed. I got to look down, look back up at them, and I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, that's definitely not the case." And I told him, I said, I live here. This is my home, and I'm the owner of this farm. You know, these are all my animals and everything that's here." They said, "You have any documentation to prove or of any of this right here? Like, you have any documentation?" I said, "Of course, if you will let me go inside, I can definitely get you that documentation." And that will be the beginning of when it started with false reports that day. And the police obviously couldn't move me that day. So what did they do next? After the police could not move me and I couldn't leave my home, I have 116 animals. I have all these different animals on the property. I have everything from water buffaloes to sloths, all these animals. They don't know how to take care of these animals. I had to be there. And sure enough, they began to the first instant where I was removed from the home, they said two white women, all right, Janet and Claire Hardee, they alleged that I physically assaulted them. Lie, flat out lie, never touched anybody. As you guys see, if I was gonna put my hands on somebody, it would have it could have happened, but I didn't because I knew that's what they wanted. And I knew that I could not go feed into that. You guys have seen the videos, they have put me through complex levels of sorrow, of anguish, of framing. And through the whole process, and one thing people can say a lot about me, right? But the one thing that you can't say is that I did not that I put my hands on somebody, that I caused harm to anybody, intentional harm, and none of that. You can't say that. I took everything, kind of like a soldier in training, so to speak, right? Um, they would just begin to do many things, and I'm gonna stop here for I'm gonna put a little pin in it here for a second. See, either Draco or Prophet Ruben, if y'all want to need me to elaborate or anything or add anything. I know I've been talking for a little minute now, so I'll go ahead and turn the floor back over to y'all in case y'all needed me to elaborate on something or want to take a little breather, however y'all want to do it, or I can continue.
Oh, I'm loving it. Some of the people were asking questions like,
Yeah, they have some
Yeah,
questions.
is the
yeah,
daughter still
absolutely.
living in the house?
Absolutely. They are all in the property right now. Claire Claire Hardee is in the property. So the girls in the videos are in my on the farm right now. Jordan's boyfriend is on the farm. If you look at my video, you see where the windows are bust out. You see it's a like a 22-year-old white guy on my camera. That camera's in my bedroom. They broke into my bedroom because I had a kinkajou in my room, and anyway, I have cameras mounted. They broke into my bedroom and they dismounted those cameras. And if you look at the camera, his face is right in the front of my
Mm-hmm.
camera, and you can see his hand going over my camera to show y'all. He grabbed it, he looked at it, and they dismantled my cameras in my private bedroom. Okay, so he's there at the property, and James Hardee's mother is living on my farm as well. Now, if you guys don't know, Ruth Hardee is a she's very very wealthy woman. She's very very wealthy out of Madison, Florida. She owns the boating club down there. A lot of properties, own tons and tons and tons of acres. She's one that bought. Speaking of planes, the Hardees own two different planes. Okay, the Commander plane. And this is inside information that you guys get privileged for being here today. But the Hardees own two planes. One of those planes is the Commander. Okay, the Commander is a single engine plane. That is the plane that they went down in on that day after the airport. It's a single engine plane. It's a small plane. If I'm correct, it's only a four-seater. They also own a plane called a Mirage. It's a very beautiful plane. It's a lot bigger. If I'm correct, it's a dual engine plane. It's more robust and able to take, has different settings. It can go farther, take off quicker, and stay in the air longer. Okay. On the day that their plane went down, I don't know why they were not in their Mirage on the one of the worst foggiest days of Georgia, if I'm correct. I'm not gonna, as far as that information right there that I've just shared with you guys, I'm not gonna elaborate on any more of that. I'll just say, listen, the bottom line is there are two planes involved. There was a commander plane that they went down on, but they also own a Mirage. I bought that up because Ruth Hardy, Jay's mom, is the one that bought that Mirage plane for him. So she the one that bought that plane. So that just lets you know the caliber of how many millions of dollars and how much power is in my on my farm, which made it so difficult to this day. So yeah, so the girls, they're still on the farm right now. Yes.
Hey Drake, did you have a question?
Um, that's the question I had too. Was the daughter still there?
Okay.
Yes. Yes, they are. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and do this too. I'm gonna privilege you guys to this as well, okay? For the sake of this live. This is a whole nother element that has not been put out in any sense of the way yet, but there's a lot of people that have reached out to me personally in regard to this. So to those, I know a lot of you guys that have been talking to me about this, what I'm about to say. I know you guys are all in a lot in the chat. So this is you guys, me putting it out there for you guys. As we know, the Hardees, okay, they own over 60 properties in Covington, Georgia, just a couple miles from where their plane went down, okay? Those tenants out there that have been in these duplexes, they're duplexes, right? So you're talking about a lot of tenants, right? James Hardee has been doing horrible things to these tenants for years. There's mold on the roofs, there's mold in these people's roofs. The floors are caving in. He's charging them a top tier rent to be there. And a lot of these people are people of color, of course. So therefore, charging all this money. He's creating fake. He goes and he says, "Oh, you didn't pay your rent. It wasn't in the box." And they have to find money because they can't oppose him. He dehumanizes him and says, "Oh, you're dumb. You're dumb. You can't think. I tell you what to think." And this, get this, everybody. I'm gonna give y'all. I saw somebody put tea in the chat. I give you a little bit more tea. Newton County Water, right? Yeah, we're gonna do it today, right? Newton County Water, right? You know, they've been in conspiracy with Jay for quite some time now, right? Did you know Jay Hardee has taken the main water line for the Newton County water line and manipulated the water lines and put his own watering system in on all those units out there? It is highly illegal to manipulate a county pipe and waterway.
Oh
They knew it. So
wow.
guess what? You have all these tenants, countless tenants, right? They wanted their own water bill. They can't get it. Jay has created a fake meters on all of them. And guess who sets what the meters are? Mr. Hardee. So they cannot get water. So guess what Hardee does? He goes and I've seen these slips. He gives them $160 slip. Oh, you owe me $160 on top of your rent. Well, but the water, we didn't use that much water. It couldn't have been. We only use this. No, no. Hey, listen. What are you gonna do about it? Go tell the county. So these people go complain to Newton County Water, and guess what Newton County Water do? Oh, you got to talk to Mr. Hardee about it. Yeah, yeah. So
Oh
I don't know
wow.
what answers. I don't. They've been in conspiracy for a while. Newton County, where that plane went down, they've been in conspiracy with Newton County for a while. But so you got all these tenants to
Mhm.
now, and I'm speaking. I'm coming off from all that and tenants. I'm speaking to you directly right now.
Brian, he's dead. Brian said he needs to be locked away. He's not
Oh, he'll
alive.
be all right.
Yeah, and he's gone, and yes, he is gone now. And he is gone, and that brings up the next element of this now, and to all of you guys. I know, in this one in particular case too. Joshua and Kimberly, they worked for him for over 20 years. Okay, he took half of their money, their check, both of them, all this time, and promised to give them the house that they've been in for all that time. And guess what? Out of nowhere kicked them out of that home after taking hundreds of thousands of dollars from this family. All right. And this is the type of man that's there. And I hope that somebody picks that part of it up because these tenants are scared. I've received the messages from you guys. I know. And I believe that hopefully something can be done. But I'm right now I'm gonna go ahead and digress, keep the focus. But I will like to say to all of you guys, I tried to give y'all an insert on there. I plan on looking into it more, but the tenants need help. And now if you guys didn't know as well, the daughters now. Janet Hardee and Claire Hardee. So y'all stay with me. Get this right. So Claire Hardee, Janet Hardee, and Jordan was heavily. We know that when I came into their lives, Jordan had a very bad substance abuse problem, right? And you guys know the media wasn't too nice to Jordan after all this stuff happened, right? So
Mm-hmm.
guess what? It's perceived to have happened. She kind of slipped up again, right? So now Jordan Hardee, right, is now the head by default executor and head of all the millions of dollars that's there, all of the airplane, the properties, everything has now is sitting in her hands right now, right? She sent out a letter to tenants, as you guys know this. All of you guys received letters. It was very poorly drafted letter in my opinion. But anyway, the letter stated, hey, listen, the daughters are taking over, right? You pay us now. Jay's gone essentially, and then so now this was going to happen. So now they are not only are they collecting all of these funds and doing and taking over everything. Now they don't have the intellectual property to manage. They don't have the intellectual property to do a lot of things. So that's going to create a whole nother situation right now. So that's a whole nother topic in itself. I digress from that, and a little bit of inside information. But I digress from that. Go ahead,
Let
Prophet
me
Ruben.
let me say this real quick because myself and Drake, we need all those tenants to reach out to us ASAP. We need you to reach out to
Oh
us
yes.
because we're gonna
Yeah.
not only expose all of the other stuff, but we're gonna expose
Yeah.
that too. But we're also gonna give you, we do have attorneys that'll help you out, but there
Yeah.
is ways that you can actually take over that property, and we'll let you know when we talk to you. Okay. And I'm gonna say this also with that because I found that out. When I heard about the addiction problem. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm not wishing bad on anybody, but I've seen it too
Absolutely.
many times. I've seen it too many times, and I've also had visions and stuff like this too. Is
Yeah.
have you noticed how people get up here and they get so greedy with things like money or narcotics or whatever, and they start
Yeah.
overusing it? So
Yeah.
I already saw that happening within the next couple of months. It's going to be an overuse, and it's going to be an OD. I saw that. But
Yeah.
one of the things that I wanted to surprise you with was some of there's a few tenants that did reach out. I'm keeping them anonymous, okay?
Good.
But they did reach out after they saw that video that I did, and they said, "quote," I'm gonna say it, "quote," right? That I'm gonna say allegedly also.
Allegedly, yeah.
That yeah, I gotta say allegedly. Allegedly is a, a lot of a lot of the people that live in these houses were made to give other services in exchange for rent. Letting you know that,
Yes.
and now they're
I was
starting to
going there
really talk
next.
about it. That's allegedly.
Good.
You hear me? But they're already talking about it now. So a lot of that stuff's getting ready to come out. A whole lot of stuff is going to come out
Yes.
regarding that. So we want to help all those tenants out. We're gonna keep you anonymous, but get you guys the help that you need. You may be able to file a class action, and several other things. All right. Now, Emmy,
Right.
you already know what services I'm talking about. How some of these landlords get out here. Yeah, how did some of these landlords get out here and say, "Oh, you ain't got the money," where you got something else. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they do. But yeah, it's out there, you guys, and a lot of things are getting ready to come to the limelight. A lot of people are going to start backing away now from that family. Watch, they're going to start backing away because of everything that's getting ready to get exposed about it, and they're going to back away also because they know now the daughter is over this stuff, and they already know. You know what I'm saying? How things are getting ready. You might as well say they used to be multi-millionaires. Used to be.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's things right there. Yeah, year of exposure, 2025. Okay, so
And
people are asking, what can they do to help you? You know what I'm saying? Well, first I want you to
yeah.
tell them. You elaborated on it a little bit as far as your ministry, the company being in a being the property being in a trust.
Can I
Um,
ask a quick question?
Scorp.
yeah.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Who's taking care of the animals now?
Um, when all this happened, the judge told me I couldn't go home. So a lot of animals, the Hardees, they were left to the Hardees and Connoy family. They slaughtered some of the animals, a lot of the other animals had to go to foster homes, and some of the fencing wasn't the best at some of the places they had to go to. So either wild animals broke in and hurt some of the animals too. So some lost their lives that way. By default, the Hardees, the water buffaloes, those animals, they were demised by the Hardees directly in the Cold Canoe. Another set of animals had to move immediately to other, foster homes. They were farm animals, or goats and things like that, and other wild animals or different animals got through some of the fencing because they had to do aggressive moves because I couldn't. The judge removed me. And the
Yeah.
last set of animals is my exotic animals. My sloths, my kinkajous, my Patagonian cavy Mars. You see a lot of my exotic animals that you see in the videos. Um, had no choice, but the state of Georgia came when the state of Georgia came on the property because I begged the judge to help me and to move these people so I could protect my animals. She obviously denied me of that, and they started moving animals around the state of Georgia. Then I was put under all these false reports with the Department of Natural Resources and USDA, and after that, the DNR, the state of Georgia said, Derrick, you have to move your exotic animals off this property, pretty much under the context of you cannot protect them. These people are here, they have to be moved. So I had to make a decision to, obviously, you can't just own and have exotic animals. So I had to sell those animals 'cause I couldn't afford, because when the company went under, I had to pay legal fees, I had to try to structure.
Mm-hmm.
I lost everything. And so I had to sell the animals to zoos. So I sold all the exotic animals to a zoo except one. To this day, Ezra is the one I've held on to. Ezra is, if you see the albino wallaby. It looks like a kangaroo, but kangaroos get 6 foot tall and 200 pounds. Wallabies
Mm-hmm.
are a lot smaller and only get about 50 pounds. I raised Ezra from a bottle. He was a bottle baby, and if that kept in a pouch, some of you guys on here have met him or seen him. But I pay the zoo hundreds of dollars every month to take care of him, to give him his food, his water, and zoo staff. I've done that for years now. He's all this. He's one of the last that's left of the animal family. So when we get our farm back, he's one of the ones I'm hoping to bring home. But everybody else has either been slaughtered or MIA. Or a lot of Nicole Canoy, when she broke into the facility, it was told to me, reported me that my water buffaloes are slaughtered. But you guys know the heart I have my water buffaloes. Y'all, if you see the videos, when my brother lost when my brother passed away, and I was there at scene, and I saw my brother there on the road. The one thing that there's not a lot that can console my heart and my spirit in that moment. But my water buffaloes, I went home. I went home, and my water buffaloes, I was with them. They all laid down beside me. It was one of the most beautiful things. And Samson, he's a reddish looking one. He's my boy, first one I got, and all of them came around me. I laid on him. He just put his head around. I don't know if you've seen cows in the videos, like, put their heads around, and he did that and just consoled me. I just had to sit there, and I had to have my moment. I needed him. Okay. Then I went into the house sometime later, and all the mess happened with Jordan when I went into the house. But so as part of me, they were slaughtered. But I've kept Ezra because he's still a part of this animal family as well, and I'm trying to get him home too. So yeah.
So what can the people do? Well, first I saw one of the comments down here. Have you tried getting an attorney from Atlanta to come down to help you out?
When it comes to attorney, I'm going to be extremely pointed with you guys. All right. I reached out to probably thousands of attorneys, and everybody from the NAACP and on up down to the Justice Department. I've made every complaint, the Judicial Qualification Commission, everybody. I've reached out to everybody, all these attorneys. One thing attorneys tell me is the story either has too much publicity and they don't want it, or they like, how we're the judges, we don't go against judges, and the judges are not going to. Because the one thing about the judges in this case, they don't care. When a lawyer goes and tells them, like, you see, they'll break the law. These are corrupt judges. They don't go by the law. So a lot of attorneys, when they look into this, they say, oh, these judges aren't going to, so that town, they're not going to do it. So a lot of attorneys have, every attorney except one has told me no. So my attorney, I have a civil defense attorney, and she stuck with me through thick and thin through this process. She does not do offensive. I need an attorney that can help me hold them accountable and recoup funds and recoup loss. But she's helped me defend, like, she does all the legal. If you get a chance to see, and she's pretty vicious. She's helped me so much. And like, if you go on my website at helptheark.org, there's a transcript. Okay, as you guys may know, the chief magistrate court judge of Morgan County, Judge Connie Holt, right? She went to her friend, the superior court judge, who now presides over all my farm, who wouldn't give me my farm back and all that stuff like that. Him, she went to him, and she walked from downstairs to upstairs, right? And she took out the stalking charge against me. because of my social media, because I exposed her online and the publicity. She was getting publicity from it. And you read the transcript of that. If you go on my website, I have the transcript. Judge Stephen Bradley did some very unconstitutional things by law. I'm not going to get into this real deep though, but it's a lot there. Her friend, her counterpart, the Superior Court judge, Judge Holt kicked me out of my home over a year ago at that time, right? Anytime you are a quote unquote alleged stalker, right? They must file in the county you reside. Judge Holt knew she kicked me out of my home over a year ago. So therefore, I couldn't be tried in the jurisdiction of Morgan County. He didn't have jurisdiction. But when you read that report, my lawyer said, hey, this case needs to be moved out into Rockdale County. But the Superior Court judge in Rockdale County is the same Superior Court judge that gave me everything. I won. This case should have been over. I have a superior, to this day, I have a Superior Court ruling from an honorable judge, Superior Court judge, that says, listen, all these allegations are denied. Everything belongs to him. I took that ruling into Morgan County, and a little chief magistrate court judge said no. She wasn't hearing it, right? And the Superior Court judge, I have a ruling. I've already won, but they want to enforce the ruling. So the county, because the Morgan County said we're all working together, we're not going to enforce it. Long story a lot shorter, that judge found me guilty of stalking a chief magistrate court judge. So I lost my First Amendment right to tell you guys what was going on. I lost my Second Amendment right to bear arms in one of the most dangerous moments of my life. He gave me the maximum order in Georgia, which is a 12-month order, which is 1 year, right? And he barred me from coming into any courthouse in this county. So I could not conduct business. I could not filing. I couldn't do anything unless it was through an attorney. He said the only time you can come in this courthouse is when you come when we deal with your land. That's it. I served it. Served it for a year.
What I want you to do, Derek, is there's one in there. There's actually an attorney in the comments talking about they're willing to help you out and everything. So I want you to hit him up in his inbox because need all the help we can get. Has the attorney, the civil attorney you had, have they tried to move it to another county after the fact?
Only thing is, they filed, but so this is the thing. We won. The case was over. We won in Rockdale County. But because Janet practiced fraud, so they filed a fraudulent. Once I won, Janet Hardee filed for divorce in Rockdale County. We won. 100% win. They lost. So this what happens. James Hardee goes. She dismisses the case, right? They conspired. She dismisses the case. Then they take it into Morgan County, except for this time, James Hardee files the case against me in Morgan County. So it transferred counties. It's already been a county transfer already in my case already. The next step is going into state and federal courts. And my attorney is saying, she's like, she's a local attorney and she's good, but she's like, she doesn't go into higher courts. She doesn't, that's beyond her comfort zone going into higher courts. That's not how she practice. So that's where we're at right now. But we've already been jurisdiction from one county. We won. But the Morgan County said, listen, we're not listening to that judge. We don't care if he's a Superior Court judge. You're not getting this land. You come on it, you're going to jail. That's it. And you're not evicting them. Period. That's it. So that's what I've been dealing with. They don't listen to the law. They don't care.
Well, there are some aggressive attorneys that are in that area. I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to, trying to use attorneys in I ain't gonna say all of Georgia, but certain parts of Georgia. I remember when I had a lawsuit against Pepsi for, they had nooses and all kinds of stuff, and when I went to go sue and everything, because I had the right to sue, the attorney that I had looked like us, and he was too afraid to go up against them. You know what I'm saying? And it broke my heart. I'm like, man, we're supposed to be able to, whatever. But, B-Way is going to inbox you her email.
Awesome. Perfect.
And,
that's perfect.
Yeah. So when you get the email and everything, definitely hit her back. You know what I'm saying? That
Absolutely,
way,
I will.
For that right there. This is the point of this whole live. You know what I'm saying? Making connections and getting things done. And there are people asking about GoFundMe. We're not going to do a GoFundMe. We're going to do a it's called Give Send Go. It's like a GoFundMe, except it's a little bit more secure. 1 and 2 is more trustworthy. So we're going to do a Give Send Go. That way, you guys, whatever needs to be given. You know what I'm saying? You can't say certain words on here. Whatever you guys want to give and everything, you know, you'll be able to give on that right there. Unfortunately, Grace, you know, a lot of the NAACPs that I've encountered and stuff, they have just let me down. You know,
I
they've
know.
turned more political than anything else. You know, it's to
Absolutely.
me, yeah, no more justice. It's all about politics. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And exactly. I've reached out to so many of them. I reached out to, the president of NAACP and NAACP in Georgia. I went all these justice people, and I learned some tough lessons, even to those that do this work, man. And to those that help people and do this work. I mean, it's a another special place for people that do this kind of stuff. Because what I've seen, I've had organizations that have come alongside that quote unquote help me. Boy, they stressed me out just about as much as the Hardees did, almost, you know. So so it's like I get it, but man, come on now, you know. But I'm thankful, man, for the trajectory that this is going in, and this is what I will say. I watch a lot of people say that they were going to help, say they were ready for the fight. Boy, they get in there and they found out them jokers got some heavy hit punches in that ring. Boy, they jump back out that ring pretty quick. But I'm hopeful that this time, that with the community backing, somebody a lot greater than me once said, right? Hope deferred makes the heart sick. All you gotta do is just stir up a little bit of hope. And that's what I'm gonna hold on to. That's what my animal family is gonna hold on to. Um, I'm getting ready. Let's say I have something else for him. I'm getting ready to wrap up in a minute, but I want to share something with you guys too. When it comes, and it's something I had to learn. I had to learn a lot of tough lessons through this process. I was a very private person. You didn't really see my face much or see me much unless I was, before on social media, unless I was debuting the animals, showing the ministry, letting you guys see all the beautiful animals we have and what they do. This process put me in front of a lot of people, and I had to be under public scrutiny. I wasn't a boss at public scrutiny at first. I took it hard when I got in the comment section, started seeing some of the stuff people were saying that was so ignorant, so out of line, so made no sense. Didn't know anything. And I watched
Yeah.
these people. Thank you so much. And I watched these people do these things. That sent me into such a tough spiral for a while. If you really want to know why I went ghost online, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't fight two millionaire families, four judges, two police departments, and everybody in the comment section. It couldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thankful because I fortified through that. I learned there's good, like some of you guys on this live, you guys are good people. Like to the hosts here, y'all are good people. And I thank y'all for that because yeah, my face may be, or we this case may be all over the world and everywhere. But at the end of the day, I land this on saying that be intentional on following the story, be intentional on helping, because if you're not intentional, you'll see my story. You're looking at me on your phone, your computer. Oh, that's crazy. The planes going down and millions of dollars and animals and this little young black. It's a lot going on here. I get that. But be intentional on following this because every day I got to deal with sorrow of this. There's a PTSD out of this too. Believe me, I got it. But the thing is, I need you guys now. Last time, my story kind of went crazy through all over the world. Y'all know it. It went all the way up through the world. But the one thing is, then it just nobody knew what happened. But guess what was happening? All the mess was still happening. Guys, y'all stay with me, please. Help me get home. Help my animals get back home. I really
Yes.
need you guys.
we're going to do that. And
So
those that are asking about, and something else I want you to answer is, they said, what happens to the land now that the Hardees are deceased? What happened to your land? What happens to your land with that right there?
that's a great question. So right now, the Hardys have possession of the land. I have been in October. There was a criminal trespass against me. Right. That means all the remember I told y'all tactical guys came out. It with vests and
Mm-hmm.
stuff on, took me out of my room and kicked me out. They tried to arrest me, and I said, "Hey, listen, I'm just gonna leave. You ain't gotta put handcuffs on me." Took the handcuffs out. I said, "That's fine. I'll leave." They gave me an order, a 1 year order. So as of October, I am barred from my property for 1 year. I can't go out there. So that order has to be dealt with, still, because they're going to say, well, the order's in place. There's a criminal trespass in place. And Claire Hardee was the one that signed that trespass. Janet was not home at that time. Claire Hardee signed that criminal trespass. Claire Hardee is the resident, and Jordan and her boyfriend are all there. So by law, technically, if I go out there, I will be incarcerated, even though the deed is a deed of survivalship. I I own, but everything is there. But the thing is, they make it impossible. So what I have to do, I'm gonna speak to my lawyer and see if we can try to file an ejectment action. Now is what we're working on filing. But then we gotta get through, and it's nothing. Those judges out there. they're not going to be happy. They made it clear that they don't want me on my land. They made it clear. They've dismantled the company. Like, if you see my videos, go look at the videos. The property was so gorgeous when I had it, when I was on it. Like, but now everything's growed all up. There's weeds and things everywhere. All the animal beautiful enclosures I've built are all torn down, and all the fencing, that expensive metal grade wire fencing for the primates and for the servals and all the different the wildcats and animals, all stolen by Nicole Kanoy, by her zoo. They stole all the future building. They destroyed so much out there in lieu of everything. So to answer your question, they have possession of the land right now. I cannot go there. I've been criminal trespass, or they will upgrade, or they could possibly upgrade charges on me as well too. Okay, so I have to try to file this ejectment and just hope that my deed of survivalship is there. The last comment to that is this: I have been reached out to already by someone in the Hardee family that's supposed to be like, I guess, step in and helping or whatever. I'll just say it's a direct relative of Janet Hardee. I'm not gonna give any more information to that, but it's a direct relative that's very close in the quote unquote bloodline, if you know what I mean. So they reached out to me and they asked me questions. They want to ask me questions about, have we been on your website? And I've been on your website. What is this? What about this right here? They said they were saying that they're gonna try to get my property sent into probate. And if we go into probate, y'all know probate is forever, and it's a mess. Probate is a mess. So they're trying to get my property into probate, but by law they can't do that. They don't own anything. The Hardees never own nothing to this day. Right now, Janet Hardee, James Hardee, they've never owned anything in the farm, except Janet owned part of the farm. She owned 50% for less than 5 minutes, and that was it. After that, nobody owned nothing. To this day, I'm still the deed holder. Everything is still the same. It's still the same. The only difference is I got judges and people saying I can't go there. That's it.
Well, the thing we're going to do, you guys, we're going to set up that Give, Send, Go, and we're going to put the links in all our bios. Myself, Drake, Derrick, others and stuff, and like I said, we have, attorneys that are in the chat and everything. Hit him in his inbox, and then he's going to get back a hold of you guys. We're gonna continue on with this fight because everybody knows, I've been talking for the past 2 years about owning land. Tennis shoes and cars and all that stuff, that's nothing. But if you own land, you have an asset. You have something that you can get out here and you can build with. You can build a legacy with. You know what I'm saying? And just everybody coming together, having your own community, having the land, build your houses, all that stuff. That's something that can go down in history. When you're gone, your kids have something. Their kids,
right?
Their kids. You know what I'm saying? Right. So this is a battle, not a war, that we're going into with this right here, and we're going to help this brother out. We're definitely going to help him out. We're going to get the news channels involved. We got to get more exposure on all of this right here. You feel me?
Yeah.
A lot more exposure. And between myself and Drake and a couple other people too, what I'm saying? The news channels pay attention. They pay attention because they're constantly putting our stories on in the news. You know what I'm saying? Some of them don't even hear about it until they actually see it on social media. You know what I'm saying? So now they get ready to see a whole lot of stuff. We're gonna see a whole lot of things. And like I told Derrick yesterday when we talked, I told him a faith that cannot be tested is a faith that cannot be trusted. And God wants to know if he can trust you. And, seeing the shoes that you've been walking in, brother, you know what I'm saying? God knows he can trust you. That's why he's vindicating you right now. He's vindicating. He's not finished. Believe me, he is not finished. You hear me?
I appreciate that. I hear you.
Yes, sir.
I hear you. Amen. Amen.
I'm gonna download this live, you guys, and I'll end up putting it on YouTube. It'll be on mine and it'll be on Drake's. We're gonna get it out there. I want you guys to share it. Also, we got a couple of videos that nobody's ever seen before. When the police came out there, how they treated Derrick and stuff. In his own home. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna make sure you guys see all of that. Yeah. Plus, there's a lot more stuff out here that we're going to share with you guys because it's time to put it out there. You know what I'm saying? It's time to put it out there. When the Bible tells you to cry aloud and spare not one feeling, When you cry
Yes, sir.
aloud, you can't get up there saying, well, I don't want to offend this person. I don't want to offend that person. No, you do what God tells you to do. That's how you
Oh,
become an overcomer. Revelation 12:11. That's how you become an overcomer by the blood of the Lamb and by using the words of your testimony. You hear me? So your testimony, Derrick, your testimony is get ready to help a whole lot of other people. It's going to encourage them.
man.
Look at this young brother.
Man.
40
Uh,
acres, animals. You know what I'm saying? He's got a whole
uh,
ministry out here, a business. And that's what a lot of people should be striving for, having your own thing. You hear me? Having your own thing. And it's all about helping others, but you need to have your own thing.
Yeah.
Feel me? Them having tennis shoes and PlayStation and Xbox and getting new hair weave and all that stuff. That ain't it. That ain't it.
uh,
Feel me? So I'm through ranting right now. You got something to
Thank
say?
you, Derrick. Thank you, Derrick, for coming to share your story.
Absolutely. No, thank y'all so much. And everybody, I appreciate you so much. Prophet Ruben and Draco, thank y'all so much. It's an honor. Like I said, it's an honor to be into all of you guys that have been sticking with me. Some of you guys been with me for some years now. So those of you that are just learning the story, thank y'all so much. I waited for this day for a long time, but it ain't time until it's time. It look like it's finally time. So I'm thankful for everybody. I love all of you guys so much, and thank you. And I know I have hope that our animal family will be restored. And
Yeah.
hey, I'm the fight's still in me. I'm ready. I'm still here.
You
I'm
ready to,
ready.
Derrick?
That's right. So we're gonna make sure, you know what I'm saying, that we get this out there. I know people are, getting hold of larger name attorneys. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes names carry weight. When they see those names come
Yeah.
in, they're like, we ain't gonna fight
Right.
that because they're gonna expose everything. And when because it
Right.
starts with exposing one thing, and then it ends up
Right.
uncovering a whole lot of other things. And I'm pretty
I
sure,
know.
I'm pretty sure they're listening. Those judges down there, and a lot of those attorneys and police officers, I'm pretty sure you don't want a lot of your dirt uncovered. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though it needs to be uncovered, but it's going to get uncovered, and it's not going to be
Yeah.
pretty. We're not going to be quiet until we get
Yeah.
justice for Derrick, till we get
Mm-hmm.
justice
Yeah.
for this whole ministry.
Yes. Absolutely.
Good, good,
Absolutely.
good. Got any last words, Drake? Last words?
Nah, that's all. Just thank you for telling your story. And I think I'm gonna be doing a video too on this tomorrow. So if you got any
Okay.
videos you want to see me, you can send it to me. You get my number from Prophet.
Okay. That's good. I'm gonna put you in my content folder. I got you.
Okay.
I'll do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much, everybody.
Thank
I'll
you,
send you her
Derrick.
email. That way you can put her in it and everything, man. You know what I'm saying?
Perfect. Perfect.
It's a lot of
Perfect.
stuff, Drake. A lot of stuff. But I appreciate you guys for, joining in. Really do. We're going to be putting up that link to that Give, Send, Go. It's like a GoFundMe, but it's going to be Give, Send, Go. And every single bit of that is going straight to helping Derrick out. All right, it's going straight to him. It's going to help him out and everything. And all the the things that he needs to take care of, legal fees, anything. You know what I'm saying? We need to help this brother out because he poured out his last. So it's time for us to come together as a village. You feel me? We come
Mm-hmm.
together as a village. That's what it's all about. Helping everybody. Supposed to love one another and also help one another. All right, but
And hey, I want to say one thing. Sorry to cut you off, Prophet Ruben. Everybody, too, if you guys want to know more, because this story has so many nuances and
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff, you can go to helptheark.org. It's like a full breakdown you can read. For those of you that like to read, it's this happened and this happened and this happened. So you can go get the full narrative if you want. It's on helptheark.org. Type on my story, hit full story, the dates, the times, the case numbers. It's all there for those of you that want to go do research and go look deeper and just do your own little deep dive. But that was good. That was all. Robert Ruben.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I mean, if all hearts and minds are clear, I mean, anybody got
We're
anything else
good.
to say? Anything?
That was good.
That
We're
was
good.
good.
We're good.
You
We're
guys have
good.
you
I
guys a
appreciate
good
it.
night. Stay safe and everything. Stay prayed up.
Yeah.
But this right here is only the beginning because now there are some true soldiers that are putting their foot down. We walking heavy. We're gonna continue walking heavy. We got to help this brother
Yeah.
out the same way we help out these other families to get justice. You hear me? So
Yeah.
thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Justice Denied. You know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah.
one of the best things that ever come up out of this right here. All right.
Yeah.
So
Amen.
All
Thank
right.
you guys.
Yep. So y'all stay
Thank you,
safe. Y'all have
everybody.
a great weekend. Go love on your family. Love on your children. Stay safe out there, and don't get on no planes right now. All right. Yo, tell you now. But anyway, we love you guys, and we're gonna holler at you. We'll see you whenever. Okay. We'll let you know.
Hey,